Hey everybody, Aaron Zamzo from firerescuefitness.com. Today I have 3 exercises that every firefighter should be doing in their workout program. Now before I get into those, let me give you a little disclaimer. They're not particularly exercises per se, they are more about categories of exercises, and I'm going to give you a couple demonstrations of each one. But each one is an essential, builds on an essential component that we as fire rescue athletes need on the fire ground and on the rescue ground and actually in everyday life. The first one is a plank or a plank variation. Every movement that we have on the fire ground stems from the core. Everything starts from this motion. Motion meaning stabilizing of the core. If you're lifting a cot, it's all core muscles, and of course, then from the core, it transfers down into the legs and the solid base, and then obviously into upper body if you're lifting a little bit into an ambulance. Same thing with hose line advancement. Even though that a lot of times your legs and your arms are doing a lot of movement, if your core can't stabilize, you're going to be pulled back, or you're not going to be able to advance that hose line. So one of these essential exercises is a plank exercise. Now, when I talk about plank, it can be from a static position where you're just holding it down on the ground. It can be from and that's in the frontal plane. You can also do a side plank, which is very good to work the muscles, the obliques, which help to strengthen the muscles in that transverse plane, which is where a lot of injuries can occur. And then my favorite, which is one I encourage you to try, I call it the super plank. It starts from a push-up position, and you're just going to raise your opposite arm and your opposite leg. And that starts to work into the glute complex a little bit and low back. So it's from this position, abs in tight, just balance, lift up your arm and the opposite leg. You can switch from side to side. So essential exercise number 1, a plank. My favorite part of that planking is the super plank. The second one is, or are, full body exercises. I know, cheap answer, okay? But when I talk about full body, you never isolate just one muscle group on the fire ground or the rescue scene, ever. You never, I guess, unless you're a chief, and you're pointing. But for the sake of argument, I don't think you can ever I don't think you can ever combat me on that particular point. So essential exercise number 2 is full body exercise. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do the typical bodybuilding exercise. It may be some point where you just want to add a little bit of strength in particular muscle groups, but at some point as a fire rescue athlete, you need to be working full body. And here's some great variations for that. One of my biggest pet peeves is you'll see in the gym a lot of times people will be doing a one-arm row or a seated shoulder press. Now, great, okay, those can be good exercises to build the shoulders and build the back. My point is, take a look at what we do on the fire ground and then adapt some of the exercises that you do in your workouts for that. So, in particular, now you don't need a dumbbell per se. You have plate weights sometimes at some of the firehouses, or gosh, they're randomly at secondhand sporting goods stores. But here, instead of doing that isolated row with your knee up on a bench, here you can do your one-arm row from a staggered position. That staggered stance is the same one that you'll use sometimes to advance hose line, right? Or you'll do to help push or pull hose line, or even pull someone out of a fire. So this staggered stance gets my upper body to work with my lower body. Same thing with a shoulder press. I was mentioning a seated shoulder press. Well, let's go a little bit further. Instead of doing that pressing motion from a seated position, try it from a standing position, or even go from floor all the way up to ceiling. Now, this is one of my favorite ones, so if you're going to adapt an exercise or add an exercise, try this one. It's basically a deadlift into a press. Then if you want to take that a step further, look at what we do. This is raising a ladder, right? You go floor to ceiling, take a step, right? Stabilize, go back down, press it up, step back, right? So that's what I mean by full body exercises. Take a look at what are the motions on the fire ground, and then add some of these exercises and some of these movements and different stances. like the floor to ceiling press or the row. One version of the row, my favorite, which is really a challenging one, is one arm, one leg, go into that position right there, okay? And do your row that way. That'll challenge your glutes. You'll feel that the next day in your glute muscles and wonder, I didn't work legs, but you actually are. So the second one is full body exercises. The third one is interval training. Now, you're like, okay, great. What does that really mean? Basically, when we go on the fire ground, it's always start, stop, right? Pull, pull, pull hose, pull, 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 okay, stop. Right? Search, 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 search. Search in the room, okay, stop. Let's listen for a second. Go, 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 stop. Go, 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 stop. And what I'm saying with intervals is have your cardio or at some point incorporate in some type of interval in your workout. Personally, I like to do a 10-minute interval at the end of my workouts. Meaning I'll do my strength workout. At the end, I'll choose 4 or 5 exercises, whether it be crawling, sometimes mountain climber exercise, burpee, drags if I'm in the firehouse, battling hose lines. I'll do those for 30 seconds really, really hard, and then rest for 20 or 30. Do the second exercise, which could be mountain climbers, then rest. Some type of interval training. And then on days that I'm at the firehouse with my crew, we like to just do 6 or 8 exercises. And this is where you can incorporate in your sledging, sometimes your tire flips and stuff like that. Do it in an interval setting. The best tool that I have for you, or suggestion I have, is get an interval timer on your phone and start to incorporate some of these intervals into your normal and everyday workouts. Those are 3 essentials. I have a report that has 10 essential exercises, or the 10 best exercises for firefighters. You can click the link below to get the rest of that. I'd love to hear your feedback on it. I know that there are probably some other ones like deadlifts and such that people will have some great points on, but I'd like to hear them because really FRF is about getting these conversations started and to really help give you tools to be physically successful on the fire ground and in life. So please let me know your thoughts. Thanks for supporting FRF. I look forward to hearing from you.